In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Landspeeder from A New Hope. Collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. And as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Landspeeder vehicle, or Luke's Landspeeder from A New Hope. This was originally released in the Vintage Collection back in 2011. This is my second one of these. I have had one before in a mint as you like box, and I really didn't want to open it, so I let that one go, and I've been on the hunt ever since for one that I could open. And finally I have found one. I found one at the ICCC in Nashville, which I recently came home from, and I picked this up for $20, which I thought was a really good deal. Let's just take a look at the box, because you'll see why it's that price basically. But you know, you've got a bit of edge wear along here, but look at the artwork on the box there. You've got Luke, Ben Kenobi, the two droids, and a sand trooper there with the vehicle itself. And the box style is obviously reminiscent of the original Vintage Kenner line, with the racetrack design and everything. Really good. And you can see this one was actually a Target exclusive at the time. You've got the warning label there. There's the side. That's got a bit of a big dent there, but it is sealed, so you know, I'm happy with that. It's going to be opened anyway, and that just shows you some information about the Landspeeder itself in terms of getting it to float and things like that. There's the other side there, just telling you about the place to store the rifle. And the back of the box has the same image as the front, except it has the Vintage Collection logo on there and some sort of stuff at the bottom there. But that is the box. Awesome box. Obviously, if this was in mint condition, I would struggle to open this, but obviously the box being in this condition, I'm happy to open this one. I do want the vehicle loose, and I'm happy to review it in this video as well. So let's crack it open and see what's inside. And just very quickly there, you can see how it's packaged within the box. So you've got this insert here which holds it in place, and you've got the rifle there which is going to attach to the side of the ship. So that's pretty awesome. All right then, so here is the Landspeeder out of the box. And before we do take a closer look at the details, I just thought I'd put it into this sort of setup here. This is how I kind of envisage having it set up when I have a bigger place to display it. So I have my awesome sand troopers, which were customized by Daniel Chart, good friend of mine. Thank you so much for those, buddy. They look awesome with this. And then we have the Legacy Collection Obi-Wan and Luke, and the Vintage Collection C-3PO, and I believe that's the 3.75 inch Black Series R2-D2, or maybe it's the one from the cancelled Legacy line. I think they're actually the same figure, but that's probably the best R2-D2 that I have. It really does show us how much we need a new Obi-Wan and a new Luke Skywalker, and a new C-3PO for that matter. Getting the figures into this vehicle is a bit of a problem, especially with the Luke. He doesn't really have the articulation, even though he does have knee joints and everything. It's pretty difficult to get him in, and I even had to sort of turn his legs around almost to sort of bend them up slightly to be able to get him into the Landspeeder. But nevertheless, I think it looks still pretty awesome the way it's set up like this. You know, that scene where they're just going into Mos Eisley to you know, go to the cantina and what have you. I think it looks pretty awesome like that, and it is a really good vehicle. And now that you've seen it like this, we're going to take all the figures away and take a look at the vehicle itself. Alright then, so for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to take the rifle off of the side there, just so it doesn't get in the way. And I currently have this vehicle in sort of landing mode. It doesn't really move. You have a gear stick in the middle there, which you can just move like so. It's on a spring, and that pushes the wheels out. And then you obviously get that sort of hovering, floating mode like that. And it works really well. So looking at the detail of the Landspeeder, you can see it is of Vintage Collection quality. I'm sure if one of these came out today, it would have slightly more weathering on it. The paint apps would probably be a little bit better, but I think they did a pretty good job back then. You can get this Landspeeder in previous lines where it's a completely different color. In fact, this one's very orange. Previous ones have been more of a brown. I'll leave that up to you what you think is more accurate, but you can see there's lots of sort of scuffs going on the side of the vehicle. But what really makes this is the front of the vehicle there. You can really see where the sand and grit and everything of Tatooine has really damaged the front of the Landspeeder. You've got a bit in particular there where it's sort of scored out of the sculpt, painted silver, and you can really see some more scuff marks and everything going along the front there. Those are all the way around. And then when you get to the back of the vehicle, you've kind of got these like exhaust marks on the engines. And this engine here is uncovered. It doesn't have the cover on it like it does on the other one. That, I'm sure, is screen accurate. What I've noticed about A New Hope is that you only ever really see the Landspeeder from this side the majority of the time in the film. And that's because obviously the way they filmed it going along, they had like a boom arm sticking out here with like a car or something to drive it along, so it, you know, they could make it look like it is moving, and that always stuck out that side of the vehicle. So, you know, whenever you see it like at this angle when they're sitting in it, and when he's going along, you see it going along like this. You very rarely see it from that angle, I find, in the film. But nevertheless, I think that is screen accurate, and I think it looks pretty good. Once again, it could probably do with a little bit more sort of weathering on it and everything. It is just kind of just all silver. But as I said, if this vehicle was brought out today in 2023, you know, I'm sure the paint apps would be much, much better on it. But I still think it's vintage collection quality. You can see there you've got the little steering wheel inside there for Luke, and if we just move that back again, that brings the wheels up, and you can see they've even put some scuffing marks and everything on the bottom there. Pretty cool. So as I said, I think it's going to look great on display. It is a really good vehicle. You've got the engine parts coming out the front there. The hood does not lift up like it did on the vintage Kenner version. That is something that they have not included, but I still think it looks pretty awesome, and it's, as I say, it's going to look great on display. Please, Hasbro, give us a new Luke Skywalker at least for this, so we can get that figure in there. The Obi-Wan didn't look too bad in there. His cloak is a little bit baggy, but I'm sure you can do something about that. But, you know, I thought where he had his hand up there holding onto the hood, I thought that looked pretty good. And just from like a diorama point of view, I think you could probably create something quite good with the figures that we have, except for that Luke. We desperately need a new farm boy Luke. But there is the vehicle from the top down. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about what you think of this vehicle, and do you own any previous versions of this that use this sculpt, and, you know, how does this compare in terms of screen accuracy, in terms of the colour? I'm thinking it, you know, it might be a bit orange. Maybe there's some previous versions that are better, but as I say, I'm pretty happy with it, and I liked what I did with the diorama there. Alright then guys, that is pretty much it. It doesn't really do a lot else. You've got the function there for the wheels. You've got the clip there for the long rifle. The hood doesn't lift up, unfortunately. So that is about it in terms of functionality. But as I say, from a display point of view, it looks great. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments down below and drop a like down below if you have enjoyed the video. And thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me on this channel, so thank you very much. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.